MLB The Show tips, roster predictions, Friday, July 1st. I can't believe we're into July, and we have more predictions from you guys in the community. Upgrades and downgrades, I'm including them here. Let's start with catcher and with reliever. Wilson Ramos, give him a +1. At Didi Kid1 says Ramos has got to be going to gold soon. 4th best average in the league with a .341 average, 12 home runs on the year. And believe me, I agree. Ramos is one of those guys that I've had on my predictions list for a long time. He keeps moving up and up, and he's going to stay here. He's going to be on that upgrade watch list until he keeps rising, probably to gold later this season. Over to first base, Paul Goldschmidt, +1. His average is finally bounced back up to 300, about where his career average is, and that's why I think he could get that +1 back to that 96 overall as a diamond. In Toronto, Edwin Encarnacion, give him a +1. He's been red hot. Listen to this, a whopping 11 of his 21 home runs have come this month, and to put a cherry on top, he's been hitting 300 this month. At On to Roll 356 thinks he deserves at least a +1 with some contact upgrades. I agree. Now over to second base, another big name, Jose Altuve, +2. Daddy Leagues, my good friend over there, says Jose Altuve should get a power boost since he's on pace for 27 home runs this season, and he's already hit 2 home runs shy from his whole total last year, which was just 15. I agree, Daddy Leagues. I think Jose Altuve could get a +1 or 2. Those power upgrades should be coming for Altuve sooner or later. And this Cardinals second baseman, Matt Carpenter, give him a +1. I got a lot of responses about this one. So let's take this one from Matt. The Shardy Rebel said Carpenter is batting .356 in June and has more walks than strikeouts this month. And the Twins, Brian Dozier, give him a +2. He's putting the finishing touches on a huge June. I know the Carl dude will be happy about this one. Hitting .340 in the month, 6 home runs. He's including a stretch of 3 straight games of home runs this week alone. At Ryan Sawyer _ said, he's returning the player that made him a gold. Time for an upgrade. I agree, Ryan. And over to shortstop, Bucket says an upgrade for Cleveland shortstop Francisco Lindor is due. Over the last 15 games, he's hitting .385 with 4 home runs. At least a +1? Yes, I agree. And in New York, Didi Gregorius, +2. At DGRXTZ says, Didi Gregorius is hitting .288, and not only that, but .375 against lefties, yet he only has 41 contact against those southpaws. So I'd say look for more contact ratings, especially in those left-handed pitcher categories. Over to the outfield and left field, Chris Bryant, believe it or not, he is a left fielder. He went 5 for 5 this week, including 3 home runs, bringing his home run total up to 21 this season, which is tied for a guy like Nolan Arenado. So more power, especially against lefties, is possible this week. Give him a +1. In center field, Yoenis Cespedes of the Mets. Now see here, I'm going to put a +0, but here's the argument here. So John Borman 8 correctly points out he's hitting .380 against lefties, but the problem with me is that he's only hitting .260 versus righties. So if Devs actually straighten out his attributes, it's possible he'll flip and have more contact versus lefties, less versus righties. Overall, may stay unchanged, John. In Baltimore, Adam Jones +2. At GusDog14 called this one, and I think there may not be a better upgrade candidate this week than Adam Jones. He's really put together a tale of two halves. Jones hit .220, 5 home runs in the first 41 games this season. He really struggled, and that's why he was downgraded to silver. But listen to this, in the last 30 games, a .317 average, 10 home runs, a return to gold is very possible this week, guys. In Colorado, Charlie Blackmon +1. He found his power swing this month, 6 home runs, an average right at 300. And as Scatterknife said, Blackmon hit 5 home runs since June 20th, and he was the NL Player of the Week. I could see some modest power boost against righties and lefties. Going back to those hot-hitting Cleveland Indians, Tyler Naquin, give him a +4. My friend Scotty says he's hit 6 home runs this month, 13 extra base hits, a .324 average, but taking a look at that contact versus righty, only a 60. The power versus righties, only a 27. So Scotty, I agree, more power and some contact against those right-handed pitchers is on the way. In Colorado, we saw the Prime Cargo Diamond Dynasty card released last week, and I think this week the Live Series Cargo could actually get a +1. You know, Mac Monday at Wannabe B3 Wookie asks, since Cargo got downgraded earlier this year, He's been hitting .321. Could he go back to 89 again? Now, I don't think back to 89 overall, but let's say 88. That'd be that +1. And I'll give him credit for what he's done since then, including 7 home runs this month. Over to starting pitching, I mentioned Madison Bumgarner last week. I still believe he deserves a +1. Bumgarner now has an ERA just under 2, a whip of 1, 122 strikeouts in just 108 innings. I expect that K per 9 and hits per 9 to go up this year. In Atlanta, one of my other followers, MLB Show Storm, says Julio Teheran deserves an upgrade. I say a +2. Now, he says Teheran deserved an upgrade. He's thrown 17 shutout innings over his last 2 starts, and his ERA now sits around 2.5. In Cleveland, not only is the offense doing well, but so is their starting pitching, including Trevor Bauer. Give him a +2. Cindergod says, what do you think about Trevor Bauer? He's 6-2 on the season, 84 strikeouts, a 1.17 whip, an ERA right around 3. Also, he's 3-0 in his last 3 games. I agree. Bauer's been pitching very well. He's only allowed a mere 10 earned runs in 44 innings this June. So that's where I think you could see some of those upgrades against the hits per 9 and those K per 9s. In Milwaukee, a young pitcher doing really well, Zach Davies. Give him at least a +3 after pitching a month to remember. He's only allowed 6 earned runs in 33 innings, and he struck out 36 batters. And in St. Louis, we have one reliever to mention, Trevor Rosenthal, -1. At DWC_24 says a downgrade for Trevor Rosenthal because he was removed as closer and he's struggling. I agree. It could mean an upgrade for setup man O as well. So take a look at that. Those are your roster predictions for Friday, July 1st. Thanks for watching and subscribing. MLB The Show tips.